Welcome to When Two Worlds Collide podcast, featuring Krystyles
and Benny,
showcasing the way we are,
the way we react,
and the way we respond. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to another episode of When Two Worlds Collide podcast. I am one of your hosts, Krystyles.
Benny.
Yo, you get on my nerves so bad. Anyway, so it's been a while, y'all. So we decided, since it's been a while, that we should come on and do a video. Okay. So we just cruising in the car, something slight, just nothing too serious, because we want to talk about how he's an introvert and I'm an extrovert. Okay, that's why this, and I'm vlogging, so you can catch this vlog on my channel on YouTube, Crystal Mitchell, okay, on my page. And then those of you that are tuning in to the vlog, you can catch this podcast on When Two Worlds Collide. As I said before, that's on YouTube. You can also catch it on Anchor, and you're going to be able to catch it on Spotify once it is uploaded and all that jazz like that. So yes. So, yeah. So anyway, why you think you're introverted? And what does that mean?
I think everybody got their own version, but pretty much a person that's introverted, I mean, he just stay to themselves, don't really like that much attention. Well, we like attention, but it has to be like a certain amount of attention. Anything over that start making us feel uncomfortable or jittery, or I don't know, just like feeling like something just sucking energy out of you. And I think sometimes we compare to be assholes because I don't know, it's something that just don't make sense. It don't make sense to me. Even if my make sense don't make sense to me. That's just how it is. You ain't trying to be mean, but it's just like, I think it's like depending on your experiences in life that make you introverted. You know what I mean? And yeah, like I don't really like being around a whole bunch of people. Not just, I was already like this before Corona, but since Corona is around, I definitely don't really like being around certain people.
Thriving in this season.
I ain't really even thriving in it, because the funny part is,
look at that.
Now you start hanging
down, y'all. Look at that.
You have since I feel like since all this happened, people start going out more together, because now you feel like somebody's trying to control how much they can go out with people. So now people is hanging out even more now. Let's just say fuck it or F it. Sorry, y'all. I don't know if we cuss on here, but yeah, like closed in. I like having my own space. I feel like I talk better on the phone than in person.
Yeah. We lived on the phone in the beginning of our relationship.
I feel it's I'm kind of shy, but I'm not. I feel like when you're an introvert, you read people too much.
Oh, okay.
And you can read into something too much, and then you start feeling a certain way, thinking they trying to make you feel a certain way. Like I don't know, it's like telepathy or some shit. I'm quite sure your brother Troy will understand.
Yeah, my brother is real.
He's like that.
Shout out to you, Troy. I love you very much.
He's super standoffish, and I'm standoffish too, but I'm also like charismatic at the same time. So
and a whole comedian though, which is funny. Like,
so it's like
really
a mixture.
Funny.
It's like I got like a mixture of stuff going on. Sometimes I can be like super. What happened?
Nothing. I'm vlogging at the same time.
Sometimes I could be super silly, but then right after that I could be super quiet for hours. So it ain't this. I've been that way since I was a kid though. It didn't start like that's just my personality. That's how it is.
So I think that's why we mesh very well together, because that's the whole point of this podcast being called When Two Worlds Collide podcast, because we come together, we come from different worlds, different backgrounds, different points of view, in the sense of him being a man and I'm being a woman. Spiritually we align, you know, our visions and all those things are aligned, but I'm more of an extrovert. I'm more of someone who's more outgoing, more of a social butterfly, thus me wanting to do vlogs. And, you know, it took me a while to get there, though. So don't think that just because I'm telling you I'm an introvert don't mean that I like being around, an extrovert, that I like being around a whole bunch of people either. I got my limits too. But in my younger days, when I had my first apartment, my house was the party house. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was at my house. We just had a good time. It was clean fun sometimes. But you know, you live and you learn and you grow. But I think the majority of it is the fact that it you know, for me, I had to come to grasp with I like being around folks. I like communicating. I like having fun and all that stuff like that. But as for Benny, that's all y'all get on the vlog. Y'all gonna have to go watch it over there. Be back. But as for Benny, I feel like he can be okay in a room by himself, just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Doing his own thing. Now, you know, it's times where he'll come, like, say if he's in the living room playing this game and I'm in the bedroom, I'm chilling, I'm on, you know, on my phone editing or whatever I'm doing, right? Then he'll come in there and he'll mess with me, and it'll be fun, you know, just, you know, laughing, talking, joking, whatever. And then he'll go right back in the living room in his own space, and I'm fine with that, you know. He don't really like being on this camera for real, which I can dig it, you know. So I applaud him for doing that. But I think we just wanted to share our point of view on being an introvert and being an extrovert. And what was that song you were singing the other day?
How many people gonna be there?
He started singing that song, and this is actually what triggered me to saying, like, babe, this would be a dope topic for our
That's
podcast.
the TikTok shit.
Oh, okay, it's from TikTok. Okay, and I was like,
I love it because I want to know how many people gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's too many people, I don't feel comfortable going.
Yeah.
Like I said, I always felt that way, but especially with everything else that's going on,
Mm-hmm.
I really be even more cautious about who I want to be around.
Yeah, yeah. Which is understandable.
Because I ain't trying to get COVID. I ain't trying to get none of that.
Exactly. Me neither.
And it seemed like, well, we should be more separated, but like I said, people are finding ways to be together like never before. Because now it's like that.
Yeah.
They telling you not to be around each other during certain events or holidays. And now people are like, nah, forget that. I'm gonna invite everybody.
Yeah, because we ain't been together. We ain't been together in like 2 years. So I wanna see everybody.
We go out more as a family with other like family members than ever before.
Than we did before.
That's crazy.
It's true.
But
it's very true.
It's a risk, but you know, you can't live your life in fear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time,
yeah,
that's what it is.
I think what it is now is that we know now that life is, not that we didn't know before, but life is precious. Time is not promised to no one. So I think now it's more or less like, okay, we spending more time with our family because, you know what I'm saying? Because of that reason. You know, no one's promised, you know, to be here tomorrow. And we not trying to be negative and think in terms of somebody dying, but I just feel like this is just a season for us to be more unified. And I mean, so I think that's where that has come from. But I think that we put a cap on who we even hang out with our family, to be honest with you. Because you select.
Don't worry about what part do I got.
I wasn't saying that.
Oh, I thought you pointed that way.
No, I was fixing my bracelet.
Oh, my bad.
But so I just
because I'm trying to keep talking before you go in the store.
Yeah, no, I'm not tripping. So anyway, what was I saying? being with family, you know, I feel like now we're more unified. But I know what I was saying. So we even choose the family members, and I'm not just talking about us in general, but I've seen families that be like, well, I ain't about to hang out with so and so. I ain't going hanging out with so and so. And I just think that it has to do a lot with personalities and who you feel most comfortable with. People that are kind of like similar to you, maybe they don't want to be around a whole bunch of people either. So then y'all just kind of congregate together, and that's what I'm experiencing. But as far as like what he said something off camera that he's similar to my dad, kind of like cool, you know, laid back, jokey type, you know, in certain areas. But then he kind of like my brother, who is very standoffish, not in a negative way, but just does his own thing. You know what I'm saying? And so I've experienced that separately through different people, but now I'm experiencing it in one person. In one person. And so it's cool because he balances me out when I could go too far and want to always be doing something. He's like, babe, why don't you just chill, like, you know? And I'd be like, why I want to do this, want to do that. He told me, he was like, I'm your yield sign. And so I think that's why we balance each other out very well, because when he be like too chill, I'd be like, yo, we need to figure this out, or do this or do that, and or you can do this or you can do that, as an encouragement piece, not as like I'm nagging him in his ear like, yo, when you do this, you know.
Yeah, no, she don't do that.
Nah, we don't do that.
It's an encouragement type of way.
Exactly. It's more or less encouraging him, because I think sometimes, like, let me ask you something. So do you think that, I mean this is not, we can't put this as a blanket statement because we can't say what other people deal with, but do you think that social anxiety plays a lot into someone who might be introverted?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I think because, you know, at one point, let's all be honest, like, we all deal with some type of anxiety and depression. So it's one point in my life where I was really dealing with a lot of anxiety, and I had to, you know, start going to therapy, start taking medication, you know, to try to even my mood, because my mood, it was hard to stabilize my mood.
Yeah.
And once I started taking them little mood stabilizer pills, my social anxiety went down a lot, to the point where when I'm around a group of people, I didn't feel that social anxiety. I didn't feel like I needed to walk in the other room to get away type shit. Like, I just was still in the middle of everybody and was just shocked that I'm not feeling a certain way. So a lot of that, being an introvert, in my opinion, a lot of that is just mental. Like, it's just, you shouldn't be so introverted that you can't be around people, that you can't be in a room around people, that you can't look somebody in the eye and talk to them, which is something I struggle with too. You can't, like, it's just all these little things that you can miss out on because you're so introverted and so you holding yourself down mentally. You putting yourself into solitude all the time. Like, you realize after a certain time in your life, you're gonna realize you've been missing out on a lot of things, and one day you're gonna wake up 44 or 45 and be like, damn, I missed out on everything. Like, don't do that to yourself. If you're an introvert person, cool, but don't do that to yourself. Like, learn to get out of your comfort zone with certain things. You know what I mean? Like, just learn how to get out of your comfort zone, because I feel being an introvert, you just want to feel comfortable all the time. Being an extrovert, I feel like you're able to deal with uncomfortable situations a little bit more than a person who's introverted. But at the same time, a person that's introverted, I feel like we stay out of trouble. We stay out of drama. We like assassins. Like, we like stealth ninjas. Like, our perspective on things may be a little deeper than people that's extroverted, because we spend a lot of time in our head. We spend a lot of time researching stuff. We spend a lot of times, like, we more the behind the scenes type of person. Like, you know what I mean? That's what we are. And ain't nothing wrong with that, because everybody can't be the same. Everybody can't be the same. Imagine everybody just wake up introverted. Won't shit be done? Imagine everybody wake up extroverted. the world would probably blow up because everybody be coming up with ideas and they want to do it all in one day.
Stuff wouldn't be getting done. I think it's the
like
spectrum
things
of
are clash. Things
wouldn't be getting done.
It still wouldn't get done because shit will clash all day.
People wouldn't. No, my
idea's better. Or trying to be the most outspoken person. Where introvert people would be like, ain't nobody saying nothing. You know what I mean? Like a person could be coming up with the next cure, but if you introverted, you're gonna be afraid to present it, the cure, because you like, I don't know what they gonna think about me. It's I can feel everybody's opinion about me. Let me just go in the bathroom and woosah, and then I could, you know what I mean? So I ain't bashing us introverted people, but after a while, like you need to stop putting yourself on a pedestal. You gotta stop putting yourself up here like you so beyond people that you can't be around people.
Wow.
Because then what's gonna happen is, but some people I see that, you know what I mean? And the thing is, like, what's gonna happen is you're gonna end up, people that you cool with, y'all gonna end up having fun one day, and you're gonna feel bad when you get home because you're gonna be like, damn, I've been missing out on all this fun. Because I always want to feel comfortable. I always want to feel in control of my environment. Like, you just don't play yourself. There's pros and cons to it. There's pros and cons. We ain't the loudest in the room, but that don't mean you can't have fun. Like, you could go to Dave and Buster's and be around people and just do you. Ain't nobody thinking about you. Ain't nobody focus on you when you come in. Wherever place you go, they might look at you. That's fine, but ain't nobody zeroing in on you like, oh, who is that? That's the intro. Like you Tupac. You not Tupac.
I'm exposed.
I'm exposed to human nature of feelings. Like, so, and then, like, I give you an example. Like, the other day we went to the gun range.
Yeah. Oh.
And this guy, like, he was like enjoying my my gun that I was shooting. I was shooting a shotgun, and he was super excited. And I had to tell myself, loosen up and be excited with him.
Yeah.
Because my first defense is, why are you talking to me? Don't talk to me longer than 5 seconds. And hurry up and go over there so I can finish doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So growing up to be that way, to where I have to like constantly put like a shield around myself, because that's what you're doing as an introvert. You put a shield around yourself, you put a cap on so you can be in your own world. Because people did you dirty, people ain't really accept you for you. It's a lot of it's tied along with people, you know what I mean? But it's not all tied along with people. Like I said, like she said, being an introvert, you just like your own space. I just like my own space. Like, it used to be times where I would go outside while she sleep and just go in the car and just look at the store and shit like that. Or I just go like to Walgreens or something like that. That's just me. But what I was saying was, the guy, he was super excited, and I looked at this situation to be like, okay, let me be more vocal. Let me like be cool with this guy. Like, you know what I mean? I don't need to shut him out or try to end the conversation fast. So then what happened was, being I wasn't stubborn and in my feelings at that moment, he ended up letting me shoot his gun, a gun that I saw online. And he offered it to me, like, hey, you want to shoot my gun? I'm like, I ain't used to people just like offering stuff to me. So it was like, it felt like I was in an unknown territory, but I just went with it. And he ended up letting me use his gun. And I learned something, that I'm actually better with his gun than my own damn gun that I carry every day.
See?
And I'm like, damn. And then I let him use my shotgun. And then I got excited off of his reaction that he used my gun. And then he was gonna let me shoot his gun again. I declined the second time, but because we was getting ready to wrap it up, because she was nervous. Like, I was ready to go at that moment. But had I let them introverted type of, I'm a vampire, and then if the sun come out, I can't be outside. Like, a lot of introverts love vampires because, like, the concept of it, like, during the day, you be in a coffin while the sun is out. What the sun do? It brightens up the day. It shows everything.
Oh, okay.
But then the vampires can only come out at night. What the night represent? You could barely see anything. You could walk around, like, you know what I mean, and you can, people can't even tell that you a vampire because you blending in because it's dark, can't nobody tell what you. So it's like a lot of introverts is like that. A lot of them like the vampire type of diaries and all that stuff. Like, so, but when I open up and we open up, like I said, that opportunity, we created a small little brotherhood. Like, cause I feel like people that like shooting guns and stuff, you in a small little community.
Yeah.
And if you open up to people, you might discover something new, or they might hook you up with something. They may help you with something. Like her, she get a lot of favor in her life because, like she said, she networks. But if I'm just sitting here, closed in, you know what I mean, being Count Dracula, you know what I mean, feeling exposed to the sunlight of happiness from people, like no happiness, no. Oh, you like me? No. Oh, you want to know stuff about me? No. Like, so, it turned out to be a good thing. Like he was friendly, he was cool, he was super excited. Like when he shot, he jumped in the air. Like, yeah, he was super happy. So
and you want to know the beautiful thing about it? Not that race matters, but he was a white guy, and I feel like it was beautiful because. And
I like white people.
Yeah, of course, we love, you know, one of my best friends is a white girl. Hi Stephanie, I love you, girl. And you know, she's more like my sister. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I brought that up is because you never know what brotherhood or sisterhood you can create when you do step out of yourself, when you do come out of your comfort zone, when you do step out of the fear. And I think even though I'm more extroverted than he is, because I think he's starting to come out of his shell a lot more, because he would have never did this video. I'm telling you, when we first, some years ago, 14 years ago, however long we've been knowing each other, like 17 years now. When I
feel like I probably would have done it more back then.
You think so? I don't think so. I don't think so, because.
But yeah, I didn't even like the camera at all.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I made a video.
He has
spurts. He has spurts of things. You know what I'm saying? He has spurts because he is kind of like a comedian for real. Like he really could be a comedian. But he has spurts of popping out and, you know, doing things, right? But it's in his comfortability. You know what I mean? But I think now he's starting to do things that I like to do that doesn't make him comfortable. You know what I mean? So like me vlogging, I just started vlogging, so that's something different, you know, for me too. But even though I'm more extroverted than he is, it still took me to embrace my fears to even want to be on camera as well, because of things that I deal with, like being overweight. You know what I'm saying? I can't hide this body, okay? This body, yada yada. I can't hide it, okay? So it's either I'm gonna love me how I am until I get to where I want to be, and show my personality of who I am, because I love talking to people, I love helping people, I love laughing, I love joking, you know, all of those things. And if I shield myself for how I really feel about certain things about me, I am going to miss out on things. So I think it's great that we can come together in our insecurities and our faults and our what we think are failures, and not even worry about what people think about us, because truly people can learn from our experiences as well as we can learn from someone else's experiences. So I think it's great that you allowed yourself to open up in that moment when the guy came over, because I was vlogging at the time, which if you want to see that vlog at the range, you can go to Crystal Mitchell YouTube page. It'll be on there soon. It's not there yet, but and you'll be able to see us at the range, and you'll be able to see the interaction. And the guy, he was just really jolly, like just really nice and really happy, you know. And so to me, in this dispensation of time, I feel like it's important for us to show unity and for us to show love to one another, whether you are black, whether you are white, whether you know, from a different country, whatever it may be, or you are introvert or extrovert. I think we need to put us, you know, picture ourselves on an even playing field and try to understand other people's situations. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when Benny and I first met, we were just friends at the time, and it was so funny. I wasn't shy or introverted or anything during that time, but I was going through a lot of stuff, and so I wasn't really talking much. You know what I'm saying? And even though he's a introvert, he came over and was acting really goofy. I was a cashier at Kroger's, and so he was a bagger during the time. And he came over to my register, and he was just doing little goofy stuff, and it made me laugh. And I looked at him like, yo, he's tripping, you know. And then he would always coming back at my register, and it opened me up the idea that all men are not the same. So it actually taught me something, because I was dealing with a relationship. I ain't even gonna get into that, but it was a lot of things that I was dealing with insecurities. So even though he is more closed off in a sense, he actually, during that time, imagine if you never opened up. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if you never opened up to me, we never would have been friends. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't myself right then, because I was going through. So I say that to ask you another question. Do you think, okay, so you said that, just to recap, you were saying that you know, a lot of people that are introverts potentially deal with social anxiety. So it doesn't just appear out of thin air. So where does that come from? Does it come from trauma? Does it come from one isolated event, or does it come from several things building upon each other? What does that stem from? And I mean, you could give personal examples or just a blanket example.
All of the above. I feel like as us, like when we all, I feel like little kids, I feel like all kids are extroverted, right? That's just to a certain degree. Extent. And so I could think back, like, so I had probably like things layered on top of each other which make me this way. Like I could think back a specific time when I was probably like in a kindergarten, I think. And the teacher had us all standing up announcing our name or something like that. And when it was my turn, I stood up super energetic, like a little kid, like a little boy. And some of the other little kids got annoyed by it, and then everybody told me that, like, all the kids started pushing me, nudging me so I could sit back down. And then I just broke, like, I literally just went back. I went down to the ground, to the floor, and started crying. Then my teacher, she like interceded, and she was like, y'all stop that, he can do what he want, type stuff. And so it started teaching me, like, over time, like, not everybody's gonna accept you, not everybody's gonna agree with you, not everyone's going to love you for you unless you're doing something for them. So like I started feeling this way at a real early age. And so I started feeling the selfishness around people. And so it just made me more like closed in, because it made me I just peaked game way too early in my life. And so it just formed me to be a certain way throughout my life growing up. And like I remember at one point in my life when I was probably like 12, 10 years old, I used to wear my hat this low and a big bubble hat, a big bubble coat, so that nobody, like, I'm walking around, didn't want nobody to see me and all that. Like I was really getting deep into it. Like me having like a silly personality, that's what helped me break out of it. Like when I was, like she said, like when I saw her, I was already comfortable with her for whatever reason. And so with me being silly, it just breaks the ice for me. Like, you know what I mean? But then it goes into a thing where I don't want people that know me, I don't want them to think I'm just silly all the time. So then they start feeling like something wrong with me by me being quiet around them, when that's who I am too. Yeah. Like I'm a quiet person and I'm a silly person. Whichever one I got that day, that's what the hell I got. I ain't gonna be your clown juggling balls in your face like, hey. Like I ain't doing that all the time to y'all. I'm just not.
Exactly.
I'm just not. Like if
I
I'm
don't
quiet,
care if you extrovert or introvert. I'm not about to be, I'm not gonna shapeshift for people. So I think that's good.
I ain't gonna be juggling and be a circus clown for you to feel comfortable around me because I'm not saying nothing. Like sometimes I just don't have nothing to say.
Yeah, like I noticed that, because I used to do it a lot to him as well.
It's funny, like I just don't have nothing to say. I just don't. Like that don't mean something's wrong, or I literally don't have nothing to say. Like I literally don't have nothing to say. And then there's moments where I just don't feel like talking at the moment. I just don't feel like really talking that much. Like I just want to do what I want to do with what I'm doing. Like, you know what I mean?
So while Benny was talking, I looked up what is an introverted person like, and it says that an introvert is a person with qualities of a personality type known as introversion, which means that they feel more comfortable focusing on their inner thoughts and ideas rather than what's happening externally. They enjoy spending time with just one or two people rather than large groups or crowds.
Yeah.
So that's definitely him. Now there was a point in my life where I was like that too, but I think it was more or less because of like how Benny said, getting teased and messed with at school,
Mm-hmm.
because I was always overweight. And so kids can be very cruel, because they just can be. I don't know why. Um and
Their brain ain't develops, has the same development as a silly ass monkey.
oh wow.
Little kids, teenagers, they just wild hyenas. Like they
But
can't think that far
it's
ahead.
learned behavior though as well, because if you're not teaching your kid what's not to tease people, you know what I'm saying, I feel like they can be easily influenced by other children because they don't know themselves yet. You don't know yourself at 5 years old. You may know what you can do, you may know what you like, but you don't know yourself. So at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, you don't know who you are. So you're easily influenced, or you can be easily influenced. And so one kid may feel inadequate within themselves and they want to make friends. So they see somebody else being, more outspoken and teasing some other kid. They're going to jump on the bandwagon because they want to fit in, And so I looked up extrovert, and it says, what is an extrovert? On the positive side, extroverts are often described as talkative, sociable, action-oriented, enthusiastic, friendly, and outgoing. On the negative side, they sometimes describe as attention seekers, easily distracted, and unable to spend time alone. Okay. I'm not tooting my own horn, but as far as the negative side, I do not seek attention. I don't do that. Easily distracted, it depends.
I feel like we all seek attention.
I'm not I guess you could say,
because if it
we
wasn't
doing
for
a
social media,
podcast, yeah, I guess you could say in this case, yeah, we seeking attention towards our topic. But I think more for me to function in life, no, I don't need the attention of others to function in life. As far as, oh, I just gotta have somebody see me in order for me to feel like I'm a person. You understand what I mean? If we're gonna go to that extreme, yes, you want to be loved. Yes, you want to be, adored, and you want someone, you want company. I mean, that's normal. Those, I feel like that's normal. You should want that. But as far as, oh, I can't start my day.
You said the word was called introverse?
Yeah, I think it's called introvert.
That vehicle said traverse on there. That's funny.
That's interesting. That happens to us all the time. We'll be talking about something and then we'll see something that basically symbolize what we're talking about. It happens all the time. But then unable to spend time alone. There has been a time where I felt weird about spending time alone. Like, I forced myself one time to go to the mall, get some food, and sit by myself and to read my Bible and just be alone. It can be hard sometimes, and and I've learned to love being by myself now, because now I feel like I'm able to dig into my thoughts and get my ideas out, and then I can talk to him as a sounding board. So I do have my alone time. But as far as what it's talking about being talkative and sociable, action oriented, enthusiastic, friendly, and outgoing, that is definitely me, for sure. Do you think so?
Yeah. Now, I know she said she used to be bullied and all that, but
I was gonna say something about that. Go ahead.
Regardless, you can tell that she's just meant to be like light.
Oh,
regardless, like she's just meant to be expressive and all that. Like no amount of bullying or people teasing you and all that. None of that could really stop your shine with being who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
thank you, boo.
So regardless, you was meant to be the type of person you are.
Yeah. It did stop me in my tracks a little bit growing up, and I did miss out on opportunities. And I was standoffish to the point where I literally always wear a coat or some type of jacket. I mean, I'm wearing one now because it's cold, but you would not catch me not just showing my body. You wouldn't catch me doing it because I felt like if I didn't have this one particular coat on, people could see what I look like. Not that you can't see what I look like. It's like he said, an invisible type of cloak type of thing. I shut myself off, and I did this from the 5th grade up to the 8th grade. And at some point, you have to get delivered from people. You have to get delivered from people and what people think about you and what people, say about you and what you think people think about you. Because like he said, when you walk in the room, everybody might look at you, but their whole day is not, well, let me find out what Benny was doing, why he did that, and what let me find out what Krystyles was doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody that important for me to spend all my waking hours worried about what you're doing. And it's not that important to me what someone thinks about me in the strength of, oh, it's going to destroy me. And it used to, as a kid, and you grow up with that, and you grow up with these misconceptions about yourself, like, oh, I'm fat, so I can't get this job, or I can't go on this interview. Oh, I'm fat, so I can't get a boyfriend, or I can't have a best friend, or I can't, fit on this ride at the amusement park. So I'm not going to take this permission slip to my mom, so I can go to Kings Island on a field trip. I miss out on a lot of stuff because of being overweight kid and being teased and also being poor. We ain't had no money for real. You know what I'm saying? We had everything we needed, but we didn't have everything that we wanted. There was times where my mom did what she could do. My grandma did what she can do. My uncle did what they can do. You feel me? But we wasn't without, but we didn't have like, oh, this gear. No, I had like, my grandma was done with her shirt, so let me wear that. You feel me? So people teased me for that. And so now I'm able to take all of that hurt, all of that pain, and turn it into joy and turn it into being able to a drive to want to help someone else. So that's why I have my podcast called Courageous Beauty, because I know what it's like to deal with certain things in your life. And I took that pain and used it as fuel for me to be forward facing, people facing. You understand what I'm saying? So I think no matter where you start, it just matters where you finish. So yeah, I might have been an introvert at one point in my time. It's just a little small part of my life be as a result of what someone else did, not because of anything that I did to myself. You understand what I'm saying? Obviously, gaining weight is something that you might be able to control, depending on if it's like hormonal or something. But so I guess I'm saying this to say, wherever state you're in, it's okay. If you like who you are and you love who you are and you're not harming yourself or others, don't let anybody change you if that's who you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we are fearfully and wonderfully made in God's eyes. And he created us for the purpose that he created us for. And he's given us our own lane to walk in so that we can use our introverted self or our extroverted self to reach others that are like us and others that are opposite from us, to show them that this life can be done in a way to where you don't have to feel like you alone. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to be afraid to take chances. And that's why my podcast is called Courageous Beauty, because it takes courage to step out on faith and to be something that you don't feel like you are. It takes courage it's taking courage for him to do this video or to be a part of something that he wasn't really initially comfortable in doing. And the beauty part comes from when I was doing makeup, and I still do makeup, but really it's about finding your inner beauty and allowing that to shine on the outside. So I hope y'all getting some nuggets from this podcast. I hope y'all enjoying this conversation. Hopefully we can keep them a little bit more consistent. We're not gonna make no promises. But I do want us to, I hope we can be a little bit more consistent and get some more stuff out. I like the idea of the video. How you feel about doing the video?
It's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah.
So if we don't have oh, go ahead.
I just want to say a couple more things. So
go ahead.
It sound like you about to close it, but like another thing about the introvert stuff, like being that you're not that social, you're not gonna have that many friends. So you might have 1 or 2 friends that you try to make 10 friends in one, and start trying to make them and start putting them on a pedestal, because now you found someone who's gonna accept you regardless of how you look, regardless of your introverted type of ways, your short texts, all those things. So then now you start becoming extra, not an extrovert, but just extra in general. and then you start pushing that one friend that you got away, because now they become your all and your everything, because you've been putting yourself in solitude so much, you forgot what it feel like to have companionship with people.
Wow.
So then that one companion that come in your life, that God placed in your life, you start draining the life out of them. Once again, it goes back to the vampire thing. What do vampires do? They drain the life out of people.
Wow.
And then you start draining the life out of that person, and then one day when they finally get a little irritated about something that you constantly doing, now you ain't gonna want to talk to them no more, because they ain't dancing the way you want them to dance anymore. So you got to watch that when you're like an introverted type of person. Like, don't do that. Don't become a vampire in people's lives and suck the life out of them, and then when they get annoyed by something, you ain't gonna talk to them again for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, based off one incident. Never mind how you be acting all the time,
right.
But they do one thing or two things wrong, and you go right back into solitude and feeling like no one cares about you anyway. See, this is why I don't talk to nobody, because no one cares. It's because they didn't answer your text 5 seconds. They did it 5 hours today, but throughout the week they've been texting you back 5 seconds. But now you like, well, why it's taking them 5 hours? You start calculating everything, because truthfully, another thing as an introvert, you don't want things to mess up. You don't, because you have I feel like with me, I don't know about a lot of y'all, but just have a deeper appreciation of people, because you're not, like I said, you're not around a bunch of people. People's not that replaceable to you. So it's like you have a deeper appreciation, but then that could become a little obsessive, because now you kind of too critical of what they doing. Like, you too critical of every little step they make, because you feel like they're going to abandon you, which is another reason why a lot of people be introverted, because they got abandonment issues, because everyone they tried or gotten close to, they end up leaving some type of way. Whether that's through an argument, whether that's just naturally growing apart, whether that's death, it could be in multiple things that's make you afraid to like talk and speak up. Like, when I'm talking to people, it's like, unless I'm really cool with you, like if I'm talking to somebody, it's like I gotta, within them 2 minutes, I'm psychoanalyzing everything about you.
Wow.
Without trying to, but I'm psychoanalyzing everything about you, and then I'm getting uncomfortable with the whole situation, because I have a fear of losing somebody. Like, when I get close to somebody, one of the first thoughts, one of the things I realize when starting to really care about somebody, if I start fearing that they about to die. Because my grandma passed.
Wow.
Someone I know when I was a child, they passed away. People I cared about passed away, and it's kind of like, oh no, like you start realizing like, man, I really like them, I really enjoy talking to them, and now what if they died? Like, what if all these little intrusive thoughts that start like just taking over your brain. So I'm telling you is just relax. You know what I mean? Relax, take a breather, and the way you act is not the way you look. You don't even look like your thoughts.
Yeah.
So when people talking to you, it ain't like if they look you in your eye and you're talking, it ain't like they can see all your struggles in life. Like, because you know you like to be real closed in into yourself. It ain't like they can see everything that's wrong with you. Like, don't be afraid if someone can see you, because what can they do anyway? Don't be afraid if someone can see you. So you don't have to be a ninja every day. Like, you don't have to go off in a wilderness by yourself and like, this is the time I feel free when I'm looking at birds. Like, you can feel free when you responding to somebody at a good time, or when you being open to somebody, or when you calling somebody. Like, someone don't always have to call you, initiate everything. You can initiate things sometimes. You know what I mean? Don't be a vampire. All right, don't be a vampire. I ain't saying all introverts are vampires, but just watch it. Just be
in
careful.
General, just
be
regardless
careful.
about the topic or title, introvert, extrovert, whatever. Don't be a vampire. That can be anybody, and it's basically like people can make you a spiritual trash can. I've said this so many times before on different platforms. People can make you a spiritual trash can if they feel that you have something that they know they can. Okay, so let me just make it plain for you. If you're a spiritual person and someone knows that you're an anointed person, they can literally like suck the life out of you, and they really just trying to get your anointing. And it's not like they're doing it. No, some people just do it without knowing. But I'm gonna give you an example. Have you ever been on the phone with someone, and after you get off the phone with them, you literally feel drained? That ought not to be so. You need to map out your time with that person or cut it. Okay? Because there's no reason why I should feel completely drained after I've talked to you. I've had people, that I've talked to, and I'm just like, yo, I can't talk to this person for a long time. You have to exercise prayer and covering your spirit and all those things like that at the end of the day when you talk to people like that. Because they just need someone. Every time we talk, there should not always be a vent session or a dumping session. Ain't nothing going on in that much in somebody's life that you got to vent every time we talk. Can we talk about something else? Can we talk about how you woke up today? Let's bring some positivity into the conversation.
Yeah.
Because somebody has to have a balance. It's okay to vent to your friends and your family or whoever, your confidant, but you need to build up that person that you're confiding in as well, because it needs to be reciprocal. It needs to go both ways. We shouldn't be on like our pastor, he used to call it a heliphone. Or my grandma even called it that too once. But you be on the phone all day talking to this person. First of all, I ain't gonna be on the phone with nobody all day. But be on the phone all day talking to this person, and next thing you know, you feeling drained, you feeling lethargic, and you feeling tired because they just zapped your anointing. They zapped your energy. No. Let's start the conversation off with a prayer. We can laugh and talk and joke afterwards. But that way it sets a boundary. It's okay to set boundaries with folks, to let them know, like, I can't handle this today. Because guess what? I have to protect my peace. Whether you are introvert or extrovert, you got to protect your peace. You got to protect your own sanity. Because guess what? After I'm done with you, I got to deal with me. So there's no way I'm going to be dealing with you and me at the same time. Now, a portion of time, sure, I'll go there with you. I'll pray with you. But we're going to have to give this to the Lord. We're going to have to dump this at his feet. Because I can't carry the burdens of the whole world on my shoulder. And something I just learned, well, you may have told me about this before, because he's really good at learning psychology and stuff like that. But this says ambivert is someone who's said to have a personality type that is between that of an introvert, shy and reserved, and also extrovert, outgoing. So I don't like all these labeling each other and stuff like that. But
this is just for y'all that be on that.
Yeah. So we don't.
Let me say this real quick.
Oh.
Another thing about being introverted too is if you don't start trying to like learn how to talk to people, then when something don't go your way, something just ain't gonna go your way. You ain't gonna know how to talk yourself out of situation. You ain't gonna know how to disagree without it being a confrontation. You ain't gonna know how to do you ain't gonna know how to even order stuff over the drive-through window, because you be so closed in. You don't even know how to order food because you're so closed in your world. You be like, can I get sandwich? Like, come on, everybody can say, can I get a McDouble? But it's like once you get to the window, because you're so closed off from people, can I get a
it's hard.
What's that sandwich that got cheese in the middle? Yeah, a McDouble. Like, it's just so start training yourself to be more open, regardless of how you feel, and you might realize I'm not as introverted as I really think I am. Yeah. I just don't like dealing with people no more on any level. It could be a simple conversation. It could be walking past somebody. People have burned you so many times. You don't even like dealing with people on any type of level whatsoever. So, but not everybody did you dirty. Like when you go out the house, get out the mindset of everyone is against me type stuff, or everyone, like, I got to deal with everybody's different way of thinking. Like, you really don't. Like, when you walk past somebody, like, we about to go to Target. When I walk past somebody, I don't have to analyze them from head to toe for me to feel comfortable walking past them. I didn't analyze them in 1.5 seconds, they whole entire life, what they might do, who they might be, what's the things they did before, what they doing now, how long they been in here, who are
Why
they
does that
connected to?
matter?
Like, come on. Like, now listen, like I said, we're like ninjas. We're assassins. You don't have to be an assassin every day. You don't. You don't have to be on a
relax.
You don't have to be Assassin's Creed and a ninja every day. You don't have to be an owl sitting on top of the tree stump watching the night.
Man.
You know what I mean? You don't have to be Batman every day. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna say something.
But hold on.
Check this out, boo.
Hold on.
Because wait. Because listen.
What?
I think too, when you are a spiritual person, and depending on what your gifts are, okay, I'm not trying to expose you, but you are a very spiritual guy, and you do have gifts. And so I think God creates us in a way. He allows certain characteristics to be on us for His use. So we're not shunning. If you are super hyper vigilant, that may be, don't get it twisted, that may be God trying to use you in that moment so that you can be aware of your surroundings, so you can be aware of what's going on. You cannot turn off the gifts of God. They come without repentance. So
that's your favorite line.
It is. The gifts come without repentance, because people, you know why that's my favorite thing to say? Because people think they're not worth it, and they don't necessarily want to follow God until they get themselves together. If you could get yourself together, you wouldn't need to follow God. You wouldn't need Him. So that's you laugh, but the truth of the matter is, everybody in here, everybody in this world is walking testimony. Everybody in this world is God's child, and some people don't feel like they worthy. And so if you ever felt that way, just know that God created you the way that you are for a purpose, like I was saying before, so that you can reach people that are waiting for you. There are people literally lined up somewhere waiting for you, who may not be able to break free from whatever it is that they're going through because you haven't gotten yourself together. No pressure. And that's the honest truth.
I like what you said, hypervigilant.
Hypervigilance.
I like it's a difference between hypervigilance and just hyper scary.
Exactly.
Don't be hyper scary.
The fear factor of it all.
Yeah. Fear is good.
Fear is good. But apprehension is good.
But don't let it shut you down to where you can't. You don't even know how to discuss business with nobody. You can't can't even think of the words, because in that moment you overanalyzing how they sound, the pitch of their voice. So now you like, they don't want to help me. Then you just hang up and be like, they mouth probably dry and they ain't drink enough water that day or something like that. But you worry about every little frequency in a voice. They don't care.
Don't carry offense. Don't look for offense in every situation, because I'm gonna tell you something. When you look for stuff, it's gonna find you. Because why? Because it's a lesson that you need to learn in it. It's a lesson in it. That's what we was talking about, this something yesterday about that. When you look for something, and I am who I am, and I'm not gonna apologize, and we ain't gonna have no disclosures on what we say. But at the end of the day, I'm going to talk about the Bible, because that's what is in me. You feel me? And even Job himself, he says, the thing that I fear, the very thing that I fear has come upon me. So be careful with what your fears are, wearing your fears on your sleeve. That's honestly what leads to anxiety. It leads to anxiety. The root cause of anxiety is fear, literally. And it just branches. God is not the author of confusion, and He's not giving you the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. It's also translation, He is not giving you the spirit of timidity. You know what I'm saying? Or you can put anxiety in there. It is what it is, and you have to acknowledge it. You don't, you deal with what you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? You allow yourself to feel what it is that you feel, so that you can deal with it head on, so that you can receive your healing, so that you can use the gifts that you have to help someone else. Yeah, you may be a little closed off and standoffish, but why? Figure out your why. Figure out who God is. Figure out who you are, so that you can know your identity, so that you can know. And we not necessarily saying we're going to just keep these labels on us. We just sharing our personality traits, so that maybe someone else can understand, like, man, I'm kind of standoffish, but I'm also kind of outgoing. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, I like who I am. Cool. Great.
If you understand the tool, you'll be able to get along with people more, because if
Yeah.
she use extroverted tactics on me all day, I'm not going to respond well.
Exactly.
And if I use introverted tactics on her all day, she's not going to respond well.
Not at all.
So if we both let them combine and learn something from it, we could learn how to be cool in a safe, in the same place.
When two worlds collide.
Yeah, like if I'm coming at her on some, like, I'm not communicating that well because I'm used to being locked in, then she's not gonna understand what the hell I'm talking about. She's not. So so in my mind, I know what I'm saying and know how I'm feeling, but if I'm not expressing that or conveying that, then it's gonna be left up to her own interpretation of what I'm saying. Then if she missed what I'm saying, now I'm getting upset because you missed everything I'm saying, but I'm not giving myself time to communicate it well because I'm always in my head talking telepathically to people type stuff. So, but in her, if she's coming to me super extroverted, I'm taking it as you being aggressive. And then if I'm taking it as aggressive, then I'm gonna get offended. And then so I can miss the whole point because I'm focused on the tone, the how you sound, all these little things that can become unnecessary sometimes, not all the time, because you do gotta pay attention to a person's tone and all that stuff.
Unexpressed communication.
Yeah, but it's like, and it's like, I will miss what she's trying to say because now I'm stuck on how you came.
How I said it instead of what I said.
Yeah. So it goes hand in hand, like, you know what I mean? So you gotta, so if me and her learn from each other, then we could learn other people. Like, you know what I mean? Like her way may not be the best way to talk to this person, but if I said something to them, then they may be able to feel it and understand.
More receptive.
They're more receptive to it. Or if I said something, that person may not be more receptive. She might have to say it. Like it'd be times where, like, I know she got the gift of comprehend. Like, her comprehension skills is like very good. She could think of a question without even knowing what the hell it is, and so it's good for her to go ahead and talk to certain people so that something can get accomplished. If it's just me all the time, then I might miss out on some things because I'm not used to really talking to you, speaking up on certain things. Like, since I've been hurt, it has taught me, like, I've been off of work for like 2 years. I'm talking to doctors. I'm talking to insurance companies. I'm talking to, all these different people. And I'm like, it makes me uncomfortable. But then
you even had your court on the phone.
Yeah, I even had a court on the phone. So it's like, I'm talking to a judge. That's like scary. A real live judge. And it's like, it's been teaching me how to get out of my shell because I know I have a lot on the inside. And if I could just take it, express it on the outside, then like my situations, and really I would take over the world if I just did that. But
so let me ask you something then. You said that in the moment when you feeling whatever you feel, whether it's anxiety or whether it's just, oh no, I gotta say something to this person, in that moment, as your therapist said, if you let the feeling pass, what do you think is gonna happen if you just still feel how you feel but just do it anyway?
I think with me, it's the fact of feeling like a dummy. Like if, okay, so if I'm in my head a lot, in your mind you don't stutter. In your mind you could think. You got time to think before you speak. So if it's like right then and there, I get stuck over my words. So now I'm like, oh, I feel like a dummy. And then I'm start thinking like, oh man, I hope they don't even understand what the hell I'm trying to say. So now I called for no reason. So it's like the best thing to do to avoid it is just don't call at all and just wait till the last minute when you force the call, because now you got to force it out. And that ain't productive because now, like, you taking stuff to the deadline, like, you know what I mean? Procrastinating, it's just be like, and once you get over that and start training yourself, or God puts you in a situation where you do have to speak up more, the better you're going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like we talk.
You're not trying to be an extrovert, but you're not trying to let the introvert stop you from progression in your life.
Exactly.
That's why I'm coming so hard on us right now. I'm coming hard on us because it's like we gotta get out of that. Like, you ain't gotta be like her, like Crystal. You ain't gotta be like this cheerleader with pom poms. Like
That's what
maybe instead of you being a person with pom poms and cheerleader, maybe you the person to hold everybody up so they don't fall.
Exactly.
Because the people that's holding everybody up, they play the most important position, because if they weak and they can't hold people up, then everybody gonna fall down and break bones and all that. Because the girls are like, but we at the bottom holding everything up. You know what I'm saying? So understand your role and be comfortable in that, and don't let nobody tell you need to be a certain way. Let somebody try to help you be a certain way, so that, because they just want to see you get better, not change you, but want to see you get better.
Right. And I think we talked though. I think the majority of this conversation, it was balanced between the two, but I think it was more or less Benny talking about more introverted things and how you need to change. And as far as extroverts, I can say one thing I've noticed, like the attention seeking part, that could be a deficit in self-esteem and trying to seek attention from someone else. We should be seeking God and
to feel accepted.
We should be seeking in any voids we need filled. So yeah, true enough, I like the aspect of vlogging and being on the video and stuff like that, because it's an outlet for me. It's not that I'm seeking attention to make me feel like a whole person, but I think there are some people out there that do that because they lack self-love or lack something on the inside. There's some type of void that they're feeling, and sometimes people can just be super over the top. Yay, look at me, doing crazy stuff, I don't know. I could be over exaggerating, but doing parkour and video, I'm so, yeah, look at me type of thing. What is that? You know what I'm saying? Find out what that is, because that can be a dangerous place to always look at me, and then not really feeling that way when you go home.
Speaking of the parkour, it was a guy that actually died. Like, he was doing parkour, hanging off the side of a building.
Jesus.
Doing it all for views and likes that you don't get paid for. You're doing all this for free just to get views, just to feel.
Even if you do get
good.
Paid for it, is it worth your life?
No, it ain't. And he slipped, fell, and fell from a huge building, like one of them huge skyscrapers. Like, he's holding on the edge of the roof.
Oh my God.
And then he fell. He fell and he died.
Things when you do things for the wrong reason, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's okay to show your talents, and it's nothing wrong with that, especially if you uplifting someone. But in that aspect, he lost his life,
Yeah.
So what was it all for, I mean, you could take good out of it.
Because once he died, that's it.
That's it.
I ain't thinking about him no more. Ain't nobody thinking about him no more. Just become news. What? That's crazy. Then the next person, they do the same thing.
Yeah, perpetual cycle. So just watch that. You know what I'm saying? I think
a cycle of roof hangers. Head ass, like everybody. Oh, I want to do that too. Like, that's actually dangerous.
It really is, and I don't. And I'm not down in somebody that's doing parkour, but just be careful, y'all.
Parkour is lit though.
It's lit if you're capable of doing it. Like that one guy in France who saved that baby.
Yeah, he kept climbing.
And see what I'm saying? It's a different spectrum. He climbed the freaking building. Yeah. And that ended up saving the baby. Risk taker, got there faster than the firefighters could put their ladder up, and then ended up getting his citizenship. You know what I'm saying?
So I feel like everything is good until it get out of control.
Exactly. So this is one extreme to the next. One guy did it for views, one guy did it to save a life.
Yeah.
So think about it.
You pick.
Yeah. You decide what's most important to you. So and like I said, we're not gonna do a whole bunch of disclaimers, but what I will say is we're not experts. This is just our opinion. This is just our story. This is just our view, our output. And if you relate, you relate. If you don't, you don't. That's where we at with that. So I think we you got anything else to say? Are you good?
Oh, another thing. This is the last part.
I'll tell you one thing about you. Once you open up, you open up.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. This is the last part, because I think another thing about being an introvert, being that you don't like confrontation, you might end up having a confrontation, having an argument, having a disagreement. And some of my therapists told me, like, it was one time my manager had accused me of something.
Oh man.
And he didn't really hear like what that wasn't not that time, boo.
Oh, okay.
But this is one of the first times he accused me of something as he was telling me about it, because he's really good at rebuttaling everything you say. Because at the end of the day, they just trying to get you to do the work so they don't have nothing else to do for themselves so they can focus on their job.
Exactly.
Versus focusing on, oh, y'all, we were short in staff and all that, and so we still got more to go and all that. So everything I was saying to him, he was just rebuttaling, right? And in that moment, it's like I'm either going to just let him talk or I'm going to just say something disrespectful. And just because you introvert don't mean you can't get disrespectful.
Yeah.
Or you can't have an attitude, or you can't show people that hey, I'm not confrontational, but I can be. I just don't want to be. And the stuff I could think of saying bad about you may be the worst things you ever heard in your life. So but
you just made me think of something else.
But it's like, so he said something to me, and you know how you like you have an argument with somebody, and then the next day you be like, damn, I should have said that instead. But I always been like that. Like, I don't know, sometimes I don't have the right things to say in the moment. So then the next day, once my mind is clear and everything, then I can come back and address the situation again. Like, listen, that conversation we had, this is what I was really trying to say, but since we was in the middle of it, it was a lot going on. So let me say it to you like this so that you can understand what I mean.
We getting the call, y'all.
So then I told my therapist this before, and she's like, "So that's completely fine." Like, she said, you could even take it further and write down your thoughts, and then come to them about what you got to say. And to me, that sounded crazy, because it was like, I ain't about to write down like my thoughts and then come to you the next day. It's over with. It's over with to me. Like, I ain't gotta keep. Nah. But it's actually a good idea if you like that, to like, okay, y'all said what y'all had to say, but if you feel like you need to give some more clarity or verify some things, you can come back the next day.
Yep.
In love and say, listen, I know we had a conversation. I hear everything you said, but I need to say a little bit more just so we can have a better understanding. You know what I mean?
Then you'll come potentially more cool-headed. You know, potentially. You might still be mad,
it may not take the whole day, but I'm just saying it could take that can happen after the steam and the fire is all burnt away. Like, you know what I mean?
Now
it ain't too late. Like,
something about what you just made me think of is, if you are someone that's closed in, OMG, my mom keeps calling, y'all. Hold on one second. Okay, I had to send her a message. So, help me, Lord. What was I saying? Oh, if you are someone who's closed off and you do not express yourself, it could be dangerous when you do have confrontation, because then that one person, you're having a conversation with this person, right? Then all the other confrontations you had with this person or other people might lash out at the same time, and you end up exploding. Yeah. And it didn't even call for that, because you just it's like you filling up a cup, and the cup just kept getting filled up, and then all of a sudden,
you really go the hell off.
And all of a sudden, so we getting ready to wrap this up. But like I said, that don't let things bottle up. Okay, don't let your anger and your frustration bottle up. If you feel something, say what you have to say. You know what I'm saying? Try not to be rude. Try not to be nasty. If you need some time to cool off before you say what you got to say, that's fine. There's no expiration date on expressing your feelings. Okay? There's no expiration date on it. Don't think. Now, the word of God does say, don't let the sun go down under your wrath. If you can make peace with that person before the night ends, make peace. But if you still have to come back the next day and, rectify the situation so you can get out what you needed to say, that's fine too. Just don't allow things to build up. Like I was saying, it's like a cup that you keep allowing to overflow, and then to fill up, and then all of a sudden it's overflowing, and you take out all of your anger on this one person that had nothing to do with all those other offenses. That would not be right or fair, right? So anyway, our trip to Target is going to have to continue when we come back. But I hope that you guys enjoy this podcast. And hold on. Good Lord, y'all. Hold on. You know what? I'm not stopping it. It's real life.
Oh shit.
We in the car. We're driving. We're doing a bunch of stuff. Got a family situation.
Let's wrap it up, man.
But yeah. So anyway, it didn't break it, did it?
That made it loose.
Okay. All right. So that's it for that. Thank you for watching another episode of When Two Worlds Collide podcast. I am your host, Krystyles.
Ben.
All right, y'all. We out.
Benny.
Bye. Peace.
No N-E.
Can you cut it over? All right, y'all. Bye.
All right.